Welcome to another episode of Animator Interviews. My name is Evan Vernon. I'm a contributor at Animation for Adults, as well as Animation Nights New York, also known as Annie. For those new to Annie, we are a monthly screening event and yearly festival that celebrates the very best in animation talent. Our artists come from all across the globe, and many have gone on to have their work featured at Annecy, Cannes, and other prominent festivals. Our next screening is scheduled for Sunday, July 25th. Films will be available from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time with virtual mixers from 3 to 5 and 8 to 10. Our guest today is French artist Mathilde Cotillon. Mathilde is a 2020 graduate of the ECV School in Bordeaux, where she earned her master's degree in animation. Mathilde's thesis film, Quoi qu'il arrive, is one of 12 shorts we're screening this month. Set in a landless water world, the film follows a young girl as she spends her days alone, adding floor after floor to her house as the sea around her continues to rise. She doesn't tell us who she is or where she's from, but the lonely landscape and photos around her all tell a story of their own. We know that she has lost something, but the girl that Cotillon shows us does not give up or yield to her sadness at all. Translated as Whatever Happens, Quoi qu'il arrive is a calm but poignant meditation on human resilience, with soft music and visuals that will touch animation fans young and old. When she's not animating, Mathilde is also an illustrator and has several stylish drawings to her name. Today, this young talent has kindly agreed to discuss her work and the story behind Quoi qu'il arrive. Mathilde, thanks for coming. Tell us about yourself. What drew you to animation? Why did you enter the field?
It was always a drawing. At first, I wanted to do comics. I grew up with the Lou comic by Julien Mel. I love the character he created. I identified with her a lot. It was this comic book that made me want to go into comics drawing, but it's not an easy industry. On the side, I always drew lots of small characters. I imagined stories, personalities around them, so giving them life through movement with the work of animation seemed to me always fun. I grew up with Miyazaki movies. The sets are sublime, the story incredible, and the characters too. I think it was with those movies that I thought the job must be great and that I wanted to do animation.
Amazing. It's always great to ask people this question. Everybody has their own heroes, their own inspirations that make them want to enter the industry. So thank you so much for sharing, Mathilde. I'm curious, when I was watching the film and looked at your portfolio and your drawings, dance and even fashion seemed to be kind of a common theme. The clothing was very elegant and elaborate, and you have all these figures that are moving in some shape or form. So do you have any background in dance or fashion?
Yes, I have done a lot of dance. I find that a body in motion is beautiful. Dance emits a lot of grace and sensitivity. Growing up, I had to stop for personal reasons, so instead I started drawing the dance. And I love fashion. I wanted to be a stylist for a long time, but I had the wrong idea of not having a strong enough personality for this environment. I've been shy for a long time, but it's a magnificent work to draw outfits. When I look at the sketch of Christian Dior or Yves Saint Laurent, I find that something emerges from it that it's so strong and gentle at the same time. It's sublime. I would like to have her skill.
I'm not sure if I have the title right, but I remember looking at your different drawings and some of your GIFs, like the little short animations you made. There's one that's just titled "Be a Poem," and there's this woman who's dancing very elegantly. And I think that what you've said, that idea of like drawing from these different artistic mediums and integrating them into animation, just says a lot about you as an artist and how you view your craft. So thank you so much for sharing, Mathilde. Tell us a little bit about Quoi qu'il arrive. What inspired this story? And how would you describe the message of the film? I know there was this in text at the end that you made a point to share with your audience. So give us some background on that.
My first priority in designing my film was that I stands out for his strong and authentic graphic universe. I wanted something very illustrative, like a book full of images. I thought of each shot of the film as an illustration. The biggest technical challenge was the animation. It was not my strong point, and I was alone to realize it, but it allowed me to learn a lot. The second important point was the message I wanted to convey. I wanted something strong and sensitive. I wanted a story where everyone could identify with the message and interpret it based on their experience. A story that brings likeness and poetry to the thrill of life. This film was a real challenge for me, mentally and artistically. I was going through a period that was not easy on a personal level, and he allowed me to grow a lot as an artist, both on the technical and the psychological aspects. Whatever happens, we must continue to grow, evolve, and build ourselves. That is what we must remember.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for sharing, Mathilde. This could just be me, but I've noticed that the girl in the film, she seems to be featured throughout your portfolio, sometimes as an adult and sometimes as a child. So why is this? Is this girl just a character? Is she you, or possibly someone you know? Tell us a little bit about that.
Mm, I get a lot of people coming back and saying, "Oh, but you're the one you're drawing." And I think I just do it inconsciously. I've been drawing little girls my whole life, and I've made them evolve according to my own age. I remember when I was child, I would take postures in front of the mirror and draw them again. And when I go back through my very first drawings chronologically until now, have seen the evolution of the body that grows. This is pretty fun. For a long time, I didn't really accept to grow up. I wanted to remain a little girl, and I think you can feel in this design and personality of my character. With drawing, you can cheat, stay a child, stay in your child's world, create the stories you want, and it gives this character of child woman and this youth that I had such a hard time living. So we can say that yes, I identify a lot with this character.
You're a young artist. I love to ask young artists this same question because you have so much time ahead of you. What do you hope to achieve as an artist? What would you like people to take away from your work?
Hmm, I would like to write and illustrate youth albums, at least one in my life. Right now, I'm working on a youth album script. I just started the storyboard. I want to tell stories that challenge, make people think, and open their minds. What I would like to retain from my work is my sensitivity
Mm.
and above all my graphic universe, that it stands out and be recognized.
And where do you see yourself in the future, 10, 20 years down the road? Do you have any dream jobs or projects that you've thought about?
It's pretty uncertain right now, and I think it will always be uncertain. I like new projects and new things in general. I imagine myself at some point in my life working as a freelance editor in publishing and illustration, and at other times on animation projects in studios, working as a background artist. Graduating in 2020 wasn't easy. The context wasn't in recruitment, so I wondered a lot about my future. And I took the opportunity to develop personal projects. There is this youth project, album project, which is very close to my heart. And if I can, I would like to write several after, but I'm also setting up my brand of notebook stationery, from small notebooks to carefully illustrated covers. That too is a project that is close to my heart. So right now I'm developing all of this, and then I'm hoping to find a job in an animation studio.
Those all sound like worthy ambitions, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, Mathilde. Thank you so much for your time today. For all those tuning in, if you'd like to watch Quoi qu'il arrive, it's going to be part of Annie's screening event on Sunday, July 25th. It'll be available from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. You got one day only to watch this, so be sure to stay tuned. It's a beautiful film. Mathilde, again, really appreciate your time. All the best to you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.